Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time here, hello and welcome. I have not made a video in a few weeks, so I wanted to come on and do a little update. You know, I was definitely on a roll for a couple months of trying to do a video every single week, but I have not done one in a few weeks. And I just wanted to come on and update everyone on my life and how things are going. So, big update. I guess kind of the primary reason I haven't made videos is I have been working a lot on my brand new podcast, Generation GC, that's all about Good Charlotte. We've recorded several episodes so far, and by the time you guys are watching this video, episode 3 of the podcast will be up. And it's been so much fun. Like, I was a little nervous going into it. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I taking on? What am I committing myself to? But every single time I do an episode, first of all, I get to learn more about my guest. And second of all, I get to learn so much more about Good Charlotte, which is great because I already have been nerding out about them so much. So that has been such a great time. It's really fun getting to look at the stats for who's listening. It's definitely like a majority people in the US, but I'm seeing people in Canada, UK, Australia, a couple other places in Europe, like Germany. I know there's been a few listeners, which has been awesome. And one of those listeners bought a copy of my book. I told you I hid New York. So that was super cool to see. So yeah, just doing the podcast has kept me really busy, but I have missed making videos. It's really cool to be doing something in music that feels new and creative, but it doesn't feel like I'm on anyone else's terms. You know, I'm not at anyone else's beck and call. I'm not working for anyone else. I'm just doing this for me because it's something I want to do. And I've gotten to chat with some bands on the podcast. And another cool thing about doing this podcast is when I talk to a band or a musician about why they love Good Charlotte, chances are I'm probably going to love that band too. You know, if this band loves my favorite band, I'm going to like this new band. So I've had a handful of new bands thrown into my rotation lately, and that has been super cool. Outside of that, I've been working. I have been working from home. I think this is week 7 or 8. 7, I think, week 7. And, you know, I'm keeping pretty much my normal hours, 9 to 5. I set alarms to try and make sure I get up and walk around a few times a day, which has been super important. Like today, I just felt my legs like cramping from sitting at my desk in that blue chair for so many hours. So I ended up just changing my position a little, and that really helped. You know, I'll get up and make a quick cup of tea, make sure I have some nice healthy snacks to go along with it, which brings us to our next point. I've been cooking and baking. Holy shit, so much. I actually had to rein it in a little just because I would take to baking kind of like whenever I was bored. But then I would bake things that I wasn't super excited to eat. So like I made these cookies one time, miso tahini cookies, and they were good, but like it just wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want those cookies, but I was like, oh, I'm bored, I'll bake something. But I have baked Greek yogurt bagels, vegan yogurt, of course, and those were delicious. Less calories than a normal bagel and a whole lot of protein. And I love bagels. So those have been really fun for breakfast. And last night I made these absolutely incredible chocolate chip cookies. My friend Jackie had showed me these cookies that she made, pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, and she sent me the recipe. I had to make a few tweaks. The recipe called for molasses, which I didn't have, so I used corn syrup instead. The recipe also called for like pumpkin pie spice, which I didn't have, and I wanted just a more traditional chocolate chip cookie flavor, so I just didn't add any additional spices. But these cookies are amazing. I had one last night, and then I kind of snacked on one throughout the day today. I may have another one later. But I also have apples that I'm gonna snack on. I have carrots and hummus and healthy snacks like that too. I made this amazing pasta over the weekend with a pumpkin sauce from a cookbook called Fuss Free Vegan. The website is called itdoesn'ttastelikechicken.com, and she is just such an amazing food blogger, all vegan recipes, and they're amazing things that anyone, a vegan or a meat eater, would love, like barbecue tofu or different pizzas, and she has great baked good recipes, but they're pretty easy to follow too, which is really cool. One thing I have been doing when I'm just bored and I'm restless and I just need to do something physical, like with my hands, is I picked up knitting. I had a pair of size 35 knitting needles sitting in a cabinet and like a couple of balls of yarn. And I figured, you know what, these are big knitting needles. Haven't used them in a while, but I still remember the basics of how to cast on, how to knit, purl, and how to cast off. So I whipped up this scarf. It took me a few days. It's pinks and grays and blacks. Took me a few days, but I just did a super easy pattern, knit 4, purl 4, knit 4, purl 4, throughout the whole scarf. It's like taller than me. Like, I held up the scarf when I was standing up the other day, and it was longer than I am tall. So that was kind of crazy, especially for how easy it came together. I also got into my head that I want to make a blanket, so I'm going to knit a blanket. I was going to use those really big needles and get some really bulky yarn, but then I realized that the really bulky yarn, even though you would need less of it than you would of like normal yarn, the really bulky yarn is so expensive. And I looked at some other patterns, found a different blanket pattern, and I ordered some sparkly yarn, a pink and a gray, and as well as a size 9 pair of circular knitting needles. So it will mean that things are going to take longer to knit than if I was using like the really, really heavy duty yarn, but you know, that's fine. I'm not going anywhere. I also got this yarn at Walmart the other day. It's like a pastel sparkle, and I think I'm gonna knit like a hat out of it and maybe a shawl, but again, once the new pair of knitting needles comes in. I had a little bit of a stressful moment at Walmart looking at knitting needles. They didn't have what I wanted, and I was a little sad, but you know what? It's okay. I found some online. No big deal. Another update, I wanted to update you guys on Dobby. Dobby is my parents' dog, and I lived with them until about 2.5 years ago. So Dobby is very, very special to me. I love him very much, hence why I have this pillow. He's my little baby boy. He's very, very sweet. Dobby has had some illnesses, and you know, he has to get different medications and treatments, but he's doing okay. We're all rooting for him, and I am just really glad to see that he's in good spirits. He is very well taken care of, very well spoiled. He actually got a bath last week, which was very exciting. He looks gorgeous. My parents gave him a bath. You know, the dog groomer is not open. Other than that, you know, I'm just trying to live my life, I guess. You know, obviously I can't live life as normal, but I'm just trying to be me. You know, I've probably talked about this in my last video I did at kind of the start of all this, but I almost feel like there's a pressure to be sad and worried about this. And like, yeah, of course we're all sad and worried. It's a very scary situation from a health perspective, from a job perspective, and just from an isolation perspective. Like, all that is tough. But yeah, I'm just trying to be, you know. I feel like this pressure is, you know, you have to either be incredibly sad and worried and just totally inconsolable, or you have to be posting that like vaguely inspiring poetry that is telling people that, oh, it's a sign from God, and oh, we can eat fresh cooked home food and spend time with a family, and the air is not polluted, and blah blah blah. Like, no, F that. I am a believer in many situations that things happen for a reason. But I think when there's such a crazy situation happening right now, to trivialize it to such an extent that you're like, oh, it was a sign, it was what the universe needed. It just, I think it kind of makes light of the tough situations that people are in. You know, that the people that have lost their jobs, the people that are sick, the people that have lost people due to this illness, the people that are lonely and isolated that don't have anyone they can talk to, the people that are at home stuck with an abusive partner. That's a big issue too right now. You know, domestic violence, they don't have necessarily anywhere to go. But at the same time, you know, what I've realized is I can't just be anxious and be worried and be sad 24/7, because that doesn't help. What does help? Making sure I have a face mask, gloves, and then I'm stacked up on cleaning supplies. What helps is washing my hands more frequently than I normally would. You know, normally I would wash my hands before I cook dinner. But now I go to the grocery store, put my groceries in my trunk, I keep hand sanitizer in my car and sanitize my hands before I drive home. I get home, I bring the food in, I wash my hands, unpack the groceries, wash my hands again, wipe down the table that the bags were sitting on. So, and then I wash my hands again when I'm making dinner a few hours later. So it's definitely, you know, washing my hands more. My hands have been super dry, as I'm sure a lot of people's have. Slight silver lining is I use that as a justification to buy this really awesome body butter from Pacifica. It's Tahitian vanilla scented, I think, and it just smells amazing. Like, it's not super strong, but the scent stays for a little while, and it's just really nice. So yeah, I probably should have washed my hair today, but you know what? That's fine. I didn't feel like doing it. You know, just doing the best I can to be me. I haven't worn makeup definitely since this started. I've thought about it though, and I know a lot of friends have had fun practicing different makeup looks, and maybe I will try that. I have never been good at like the influencer style makeup. You know what I'm talking about. The super heavy foundation and the cut crease eyeshadow looks and the winged eyeliner and overlining your lips. I never could do any of that. But maybe this is the time I practice. Who knows? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I am going to make dinner and then finish watching last night's 90 Day Fiancé, and then probably watch some Degrassi tonight. Yeah, I've been rewatching Degrassi. Highly recommend you guys do that, by the way. A few of my friends have been doing Degrassi rewatches, or in some cases starting from the beginning. You can go on YouTube, which you are on right now. Sounds so funny to say, oh, go on YouTube. Oh, you're on YouTube right now watching my video. Search for Degrassi Season 1, Episode 1. Boom. Or you can do Degrassi 101 and then 102 for Episode 2, etc., etc. And they have the entire series there. Degrassi Next Class is on Netflix. I don't think that's on YouTube, but all 14 seasons of Degrassi The Next Generation, which became Degrassi in later seasons, are on YouTube. So go do that. I don't know. That's it. I didn't script this video at all. I just kind of went off and I thought I'd have some fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And make sure you tell a friend about my YouTube channel and get them to subscribe too. Because if you do that, probably I will reach 10 million subscribers like really soon.